I'm Richie Suave Flores.
And I'm Cori Crenshaw.
And this is Sporty with Cori and Richie Suave, episode 21. Cheers.
Floater, center field. The Diamondbacks are world champions.
And is the motion man. Little flip to Fitzgerald. He scores. And the Cardinals win an amazing game.
Mikhail Bucker with a chance. He walks in. He scores. Mikhail Bucker for the second straight game is the hero.
Welcome back in Sporty Nation. As Richie said, it's episode 21. So, of course, we are drinking on the show today. You know, let me open my reds over here. Cheers, Richie.
Cheers. Yeah, there we go. Kona Big Wave for me. Very delicious golden ale out of Hawaii.
Yeah, he's too bougie for my reds, apparently. It was his back in the day beer, but he's grown over it. He's too big and manly now for my reds.
Damn right. That's some delicious Big Wave, which you should try, Cora. I think you'd like it. It is...
Do I feel like I'm on a nice tropical beach?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, then I definitely need that because, I mean, it's the first time that's actually getting cold here in Arizona, so I need something that has, like, a nice, cool ocean breeze.
What you really need is a nice porter, a nice winter porter. That's what you really need.
It's barely even winter here. It's the first time I've been cold wearing long sleeves.
Perfect.
I've been sweating otherwise.
But we digress. We hope you're drinking along with us at home, as long as you're not driving anywhere. So if you're drinking while you're listening or watching to us, tweet us what you're drinking. If it's beer, if it's Mountain Dew, or even if it's cherry soda.
Yeah, I mean, every type of drink. We don't discriminate on drinks. We will take any drink. Okay, I don't discriminate on drinks. Richie discriminates on drinks. Let's just be honest.
Yes, I do. Beer snob. But we have a busy show today, don't we?
Yes.
Very busy show.
Well, there has been something that has been bothering Richie. I know. I feel like there's something that bothers Richie every week, but this one has really been bothering Richie. What has been bothering you?
Oh, we're just going to get straight into it off the top?
Well, I was just going to have you introduce it because it was bothering you, and then I was going to say the other two.
Oh, well, it's bothering a lot of people. It's bothering a lot of people, which is the apparently hiring of Herm Edwards to be the new football coach at ASU after Todd Graham was fired after ASU won the Territorial Cup.
And then after that, I will be asking Richie in honor of our 21st show what his top 5 athletes under the age of 21 are. And then Richie has been keeping me off of certain sites this week in order to try and surprise me with some interesting sports stories so we can get my reactions on those. So that will be our third segment of the day. It's going to be pretty packed, as you said, but I think we should probably start with what is firing you up the most.
Yes.
He warned me earlier in the week that F-bombs may be dropped. So, I mean, now that this is a fully adult show now, you know, be forewarned.
Yeah, so this hiring of Herm Edwards by Ray Anderson is bullshit. I don't understand it. I'm not going to drop F-bombs. This is a family show. But I can say bullshit. And I think of a lot of other ASU Sun Devils are probably thinking the same thing. Herm Edwards? What? Listen to this, Sporty Nation. Hasn't coached since 2009 in the NFL. His record in the NFL was 54-74. He hasn't coached in nearly 30 years in college. He was a defensive
1989.
Defensive backs coach in 1989, Taylor Swift's birth year.
And my brother's birth year.
Ah, yes, very nice. So he's completely out of touch. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. The guy has no freaking recruiting experience in a conference that now where Chip Kelly is the new head coach at UCLA, and he can recruit to the hilt. He pretty much brought that Oregon program out of nowhere to contend for national titles on a regular basis. He's now back in the Pac-12 South. And Herm Edwards has to compete with that? No! He has no chance to out-recruit Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly is going to come over here and rake Arizona players and bring them over to UCLA. This is terrible.
Even an NFL executive that's familiar with him said It'll be a learning curve for a guy who has never been an X's and O's specialist. There are some real danger in terms of playing against schools in that conference that know what they're doing. It's one thing to have a good motivational speaker. It's another thing to have a good football coach. And if you're going to can someone and still be paying them, $11 million for their
buyout. That was Todd Graham's buyout. Yeah.
Yes. Then don't you think you should be going progressively, going forward, never going backward? And I feel like coming in with someone who has been so far behind, and especially because he wanted someone to come in with vision, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted someone that knew how to turn this team around and come. Every sport changes. You can't say that like LeBron's day in basketball was the same as Magic's,
Right.
None of that stuff is ever the same. It changes. So you can't ever have the old ideals working in the new frame of that sport. Everything changes and you have to change with it. The fact that he has no freaking idea of where it is at this point is horrid. I mean, I would have almost been better off with Todd Graham because at least he had some idea of what he was doing. Unless this team is going to be run completely by coordinators, because Ray Anderson said that he wanted to keep all the coordinators and everything.
I thought that was the most interesting part of his press conference, because I actually liked a lot of what Ray Anderson said last Sunday after Todd Graham was fired. He wants this program to be top 15 nationally on a regular basis.
Yes.
He wants this team to contend on a regular basis for Pac-12 titles. And so I agree with him on all that. On this program can be more than a school who is, contends for a title for a Rose Bowl once every 5 years. I agree with him on that, but the one thing I disagreed with on is the idea of keeping the coordinators, which makes no sense. If you're going to bring in a new coach and a new system, why keep the coordinators? And maybe Herm Edwards, that's why he's a front runner here, is because he is the one guy who said, okay, I'll keep Billy Napier and Phil Bennett, who actually did a pretty solid job this year. I like them quite a bit, but I mean, they're both very good coordinators, and they're both very loyal to Todd Graham. So why in the world would they stay?
Well, I absolutely love them as coordinators. I thought they did great, and I thought they were the ones that were the saving grace for the games that they did win this season. However, I feel like all of this is completely a personal game. Basically, he was his agent back in the day, and so he's choosing him as a personal favor almost.
Yes.
And I understand the athletic directors always choose their own people, but this is like me being an athletic director somewhere and being like, Richie, you're going to coach the hockey program there because you played on Sasquatches. And
I played beer league.
Yeah, you played beer league, and you know a lot about hockey, so I'm going to have you. It's very personal. I know that's like a really dramatic comparison.
No, it's not that bad, actually. It really is.
But it's like, come on. Like, he has been out of it for a good decade now.
Yeah, he hasn't even, Ray Anderson, as far as we know, hasn't even contacted anybody else, which is the biggest, one of the biggest problems I have. Do you have that same problem where he didn't even interview anybody else? It's just Herm Edwards and that's it? That's the only guy I'm talking to?
And that's the biggest problem, is it almost seemed like it was preset that way.
Yeah.
Like, he knew right away that that's the direction he was going to go in, which makes you wonder what was going on behind the scenes before all this. It's really fishy, honestly, and I don't particularly like the way it's gone down, and I don't like the lack of transparency in it, because it feels like it should be transparent that this is a personal choice of his.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Is there any positives for you to take away here?
I really like it. The fact that he has NFL experience, maybe, possibly, but it's old NFL experience. And college is much different than the NFL. Like,
yeah,
even the rules are astronomically different. So I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here. I can't figure anything out.
My only positive here is that he's well known to be kind of a very positive influence on young players.
Have him come in and talk then.
Don't make
exactly.
Him a coach. Come be a speaker, not a coach. And that's, who knows? It will pay off. Maybe he'll be able to walk into these rooms and motivate these guys to come to ASU. Maybe him being on, that's one of the things I've seen from some fans, is him being on TV is going to make players relate to him more. He's like, oh, hey, I remember seeing him on TV, but I highly doubt it. I mean, there's way more better names out there. Just real quick, before we get to Cori's Corner here, a couple of names. We talked about this on the Freaks earlier this week. Kenny Sargent put this name out there. Chris Kleiman, who was the coach of Carson Wentz at North Dakota State, would have been a better choice. Scott Frost, who's been linked to the Nebraska job, who is now coaching at South Florida. I believe he's an up-and-coming type of guy, would have been a better choice. And how about, Kevin Sumlin was the guy that I wanted before Todd Graham got hired, who was now recently fired by Texas A&M. Even he would have been a better choice because at least he does the one thing that I wanted in a coach was he can freaking recruit. He brought in top 15 classes on a regular basis to Texas A&M in an SEC where basically Texas A&M was battling for fourth place in the conference. So I have no idea what Ray Anderson is doing here. If you ask me, what he's doing here is a fireable offense if it doesn't work out. So with that said, we don't like the Herm Edwards hire. What do you think? Go ahead and hit us up, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Let us know what you think. But first, let's take a jaunt into Cori's Corner.
All right, everyone, welcome into my Cori's Corner this week. I would like to have a drink with you guys and talk about something that I think kind of needs to be addressed. Here in Sporty Nation, we absolutely love talking to all of you guys and hearing everyone's opinions on everything. There's things that Sporty Nation has been a little bit more passionate about than others, one of them being college football. But I would just like to remind Sporty Nation that we absolutely love having conversations, hearing your guys' rebuttals against what we have to say. But please be polite and have conversations. I'm so sorry. Richie just hit his face on the mic, and it took a very serious moment into me laughing. But I would just like to say we have a lot of fun around here, and we want to have a lot of fun with our nation. And we just really love to talk to you guys, and we want to respect you. So please also respect us in reciprocation. And we just love you all. And feel free to always talk to us.
Okay, so because it is indeed our 21st episode, and Cori and I are both drinking some delicious beverages during the show today, so expect our takes to get worse and worse throughout the day. We decided that I made a ranking of the top 5 athletes under or 21 and under, and so I'm going to surprise Cori with them. And she's going to give her takes on my top 5 athletes under 21. Now, this includes college players because they are still athletes. So there might be a college player on there. Includes Olympic athletes. Includes everybody. Could have gone NHL heavy on this because a lot of the great NHL players are under 21.
I wanted to go NHL heavy.
Decided not to. Decided to mix it up a little bit. So are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I actually have 6 names on the list. So I have to...
Let's let this show that Richie does not follow directions. But that's okay. He's that child that used to color outside the lines.
That's actually true. I was terrible. I still can't do it. Yeah, I'm a terrible artist.
Kindergarten. I knew that was probably a rough year for you. But, okay. So what is your first choice?
Okay, so number 5 is Philadelphia 76ers former number 1 overall draft pick Ben Simmons, former LSU Tiger, if I'm not mistaken. He's number 5 on my list. 21, almost 22 years old now, but he's legit, as the 76ers are actually becoming a pretty solid team, or at least fun to watch. They're starting to turn around after years of misery. So number 5, Ben Simmons.
Number 4. Okay, let's be honest. I have nothing to say about him.
Not a basketball fan, are you, Cori?
No.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. That's fine. That's cool.
I will admit it.
Number 4, you will have plenty to say about this. Now, I think you think I'm ranking this guy too low, but it's fine. Number 4 is Austin Matthews, who was the number 1 overall selection in the 2016 NHL draft. Won the Calder Trophy last year, put up 40 goals for the Toronto Maple Leafs, having another legit season, even though he's had some injury problems this year. He is number 4 on my list. The Arizona boy, number 4.
Number 4? Number
Yes,
4.
number 4.
Number 4.
Yeah.
The kid who literally holds up the Maple Leafs and had a multiple goal game in his first game in the NHL. Number 4.
Yes.
Okay, who is number 3?
Number 3 is a world champion swimmer. She is the female equivalent of Michael Phelps, I would say. She absolutely has dominated her sport after her, debut or her big kind of coming out party in the 2016 Rio Olympics. Katie Ledecky, who is the long distance swimmer for USA swim team, and she absolutely dominated not only in the Olympics last year, dominated in college this year. She'll be back in 2020 to win more gold medals. Katie Ledecky is freaking legit.
I like that choice. I really like that choice. I think it's cool because it's different. It's swimming. And then on top of it, she kicked ass. She was really good. She was so much fun to watch.
There are a lot of good female athletes under 21. Simone Biles is one of them. Pretty much any of the members of the 2016 Rio gymnastics team.
That was one of the things that I was talking about earlier was you have to be so young in order to be a gymnast that any of those, they're all amazing athletes.
So they didn't make my list, but shout out to them all the same. Number 2 now, another name that I don't think you know who it is, but it's going to be one that we're going to get to know over the next many years. Not in the World Cup next year because the United States did not make the World Cup in Russia next year. Christian Pulisic, who is, I believe, 19 now, and he is like the next great hope for American soccer, post like Landon Donovan and those guys. This guy's legit, man. He's going to be really good. It is not like, Freddie Adu, who was like the big soccer star about 10 years ago, and he never made it, never did a damn thing on the national level. But Christian Pulisic, who I believe plays overseas in Europe now too, for a couple big teams over there. Christian Pulisic, number 2.
I'm working on my soccer, but I'm not sure about anything on him. So I'm gonna be honest with you
This
on that
list
one.
is just like stump Cori time.
Literally, you go outside of basketball and soccer, and you had to choose a basketball person and a soccer person.
Yep, absolutely. So
Anything
number
with
1,
pinball with your hands and with your feet, and too much for me.
number 1, you know this name. This was easy peasy for me. Is Connor McDavid. His Edmonton Oilers are struggling this season for whatever reason, but Connor McDavid is not the reason why they're struggling. Of course, won the Hart Trophy last year, put up over 100 points in just his second season in the NHL. Former number 1 overall pick. And he's the best young star in the NHL over Austin Matthews. Sorry.
I thoroughly agree with the Connor McDavid thing. The only thing that makes I'm not sure if I would put him over Austin Matthews, but it could be the fact of the teams that they are on. Austin Matthews has a lot better support in Toronto, so I'll give McDavid the credit.
You mean you don't think Milan Lucic is good support for Connor McDavid in Edmonton?
You're trying to set me up.
I'm not, because Milan Lucic is terrible.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you're literally trying to set me up to say something mean. I'm not going to set anything up to say anything mean.
Okay, I can deal with that. So there you go. My number 6, by the way, was Lamar Jackson, last year's Heisman Trophy winner from Louisville.
So for another, obviously Austin Matthews is from Arizona, but for another Arizona reference, where would you put on a list Clayton Keller?
That's a tough question. Like in the NHL, he's the best rookie this season. I think he's probably top 10 in terms of players under 21 in the NHL.
I mean, he's holding it down for the Yotes.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he's his goals have fallen off in the last couple weeks, but he's still producing assists, primary points. So he's still doing well.
And I don't know if he still is, but for the longest time, he was holding like the number 1 position on time on ice for rookies.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that stat in a while, but it sounds right.
Yeah. Yes, he was holding it down for a while there.
So are you ready for me to surprise you again with more stories you haven't heard?
Yes.
We'll do that next on Sporty with Cori and Richie Suave.
Okay, well, I have to give you credit, Richie, because during the break, I asked you, I thought you were trying to talk me into saying something bad about Lucic because of the fact that I am a Bruins fan and he was on the 2011 Stanley Cup winning team. So I thought that's where you were taking it, but you weren't trying to do anything malicious out of it. So.
No, I was just I was trying to say that Milan Lucic is overpaid, and they should have just kept Taylor Hall and now Yakupov instead of bringing in Milan Lucic.
No, that's what I thought you were trying to make me say something bad just because of the fact that I'm a Bruins fan and you just like to give me crap about that.
No, he's just not that good.
In my defense, it is my side team. My number 1 team is obviously the Arizona Coyotes. But now we have to move on to, by the way, side note, did you see how that steamed? That was the steamiest beer. You didn't notice it at all? Okay.
No.
That's okay. I'll just, talk to myself over here. But you are supposed to be surprising me with stories.
Yes, I have sports
instead
headlines.
Of me rambling on. God, I need to not drink while I'm just kidding. I
Sports
haven't drank that
headlines.
much, guys.
Sports headlines. The first of which being the fact that we never bet over this, but since the last time we taped, the Minnesota Vikings beat up on my LA Rams 23-7.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I just wanted to shout you out for that because I thought the Rams were going to win that game, but they didn't. So congratulations, Vikings. You're probably going to be playing the Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
And hopefully a home Super Bowl. I will drink to that.
That would be pretty awesome. I like Case Keenum. I root for him. Former Ram. Pro Bowler, probably.
I mean, we had Bradford before that.
Yes. You just love your former Rams in Minneapolis, don't you? My goodness.
But they do so well there.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can't hate on it.
Okay, so are you ready for headline number 2?
Yes.
I want to get your take on this as a female because do you know who Grayson Allen is?
Mm-mm.
So he is Duke men's basketball, probably their best player.
Again, basketball, I fail. I will work on this, Sporty Nation, I swear.
He looks a lot like Ted Cruz.
Okay, I get an image.
Yes. Well, apparently some girl posted a conversation on Tinder with Grayson Allen.
Oh, God, I can already see this going.
So I wanted to read to you what he said, and I want to get your take on it, basically.
Oh, Lord.
So Grayson gets a message from the girl, says, after tonight, I think I'm regretting my swipe right. Because Grayson Allen's Duke beat Indiana, and this girl was from Indiana.
Oh, okay. So it
Yes.
was like
So that's the backstory to this.
It was a sports reason. Okay.
Yes. Grayson responded by saying, I just have one thing to say, though, ... And then she replies with 2 more dots, going, huh? What? Who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? Spelled HOOSIER because of the Indiana Hoosiers. And then she replies, this is the best part of this. That's all you got with a Duke education? Question mark?
Ooh, brutal. First of all, I don't ever like when females ever call their significant other daddy. It's kind of creepy.
No, that's Grayson Allen said that.
But I mean, like, that's like if a guy says it, like, I feel like he technically wants the girl to be like, you're my daddy, and just creepy. Even just saying it out loud creeps me out. So first of all, I don't ever really like that word for someone's partner. And And second of all, I don't like, it's weird. The whole thing was just kind of weird to me because, like, I am the first one as a sports lover to love sports puns and doing them in, like, flirty ways and all of that type of stuff. But that one just came off weird. I would have just felt weird. I'm gonna be honest.
So who do you think won? Do you think the girl won or Grayson Allen won?
I think he was lighthearted, and I think she was pretty damn cutthroat by, like, ripping on the intelligence of his university. But I mean, like, I'm not sure that I wouldn't have done the same thing if it was someone from U of A. So, I mean, I would probably say she won.
Okay. I agree. I think so. Grayson Allen's a douchebag anyway. He's always kicking people. Headline number 3. Conor McGregor shouts, "Come and get me," amid rumored threats from Irish mob. So this is a story from Sports Illustrated, with rumors swirling that Conor McGregor may be in danger of retribution from an Irish crime family. The UFC star issued an apparent invitation on Thursday. "Come and get me," he said. McGregor is accused of punching a relative of a top Irish gangster during a fight at a pub on Sunday night. According to Irish media, the mob boss in question is Graham the Wig Whelan, a lieutenant in the Kenyan crime cartel. And apparently Conor McGregor had to go to court over this and was fined $476 and shouted out the window of his car as he was driving away, "Come and get me." And apparently the Irish police are reportedly taking these reports against McGregor somewhat seriously because of the threat. So they're telling him to watch him, basically. Watch himself. There may be threats to his safety.
Isn't that what you do in Ireland? You go to a pub and you start a fight, right?
Yeah, but you don't piss off gangsters while you're doing it.
He fights for a living. I mean, the person that was completely undefeated, he decided to pick a fight with. The man picks a fight for a living. I'm like, I feel like I should be more surprised. Part of me loves, like, Conor McGregor, though. Like, I find the man so entertaining, and I could really see him just picking a fight to pick a fight. Or if someone picked a fight with him, just be like, you know what? Someone picked a fight with me, and I'm just going to finish the fight. Because he's that type of person, too. But then he's got such an adorable family that I wouldn't want anything to happen to that either.
So, do you think they're just, like, BSing him? Like, this is not a thing?
I think that he made enough money off the Mayweather-McGregor fight that he could probably just pay them off.
Yeah.
It's not like he killed somebody.
Good point.
He punched someone in the face.
Yeah.
You know? How much is a bruised lip worth? The crime mob can always use money for more crimes.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
So I would pay them off.
There you go. I like that idea. Why not? Okay, headline number 4. Floyd Mayweather just found out that his girlfriend has been robbing him blind. Ready for this one? Here, this is fun. I like this. This is awesome. This is from Barstool. Floyd Mayweather's ex-girlfriend used his credit cards on the sly and helped herself to piles of cash, according to a lawsuit.
Damn
TMZ
right.
Sports says that Chantel got access to Floyd's credit card accounts and scooped cash around his house to go on a personal shopping spree. He claims she shipped all of her illicit booty to a secret location to keep him in the dark. And so now Floyd Mayweather is suing her for this apparent theft.
Is she a pirate? Is this dodgeball? And is it Steve the pirate? I don't know why you would call it booty, but damn right. Someone needed to steal from the man. I mean, come on. Like, after all, again,
he probably has like $30 million in his freaking couch cushions.
Again, how much is a bruised lip worth? It's not like he hasn't beat his wives and girlfriends. So, I mean, she probably deserved that money, to be honest with you, for dealing with him. I mean, I think technically it may have been her natural right.
All right, everybody, it's now time for the segment where we wrap up the show every week. It is now time for my Dick of the Week. And this week, while I drink my Kona Big Wave on our 21st episode, this was an easy one for me, even though it took me quite some time to come up with it. It goes out to you, New York Giants, because I have no idea what in the world you're trying to do by benching who is probably going to be a Hall of Famer in Eli Manning. Now, the Giants have had a terrible season this year in the NFL. They're one of the league's worst teams. But Eli Manning has played every single game for you since he came in the league in 2004. And you unceremoniously bench him for Geno Smith. Geno Smith, who hasn't done jack in the league ever since he got punched by IK Eamon-Pauly a couple of years ago when he was with the Jets. New York Giants, what in the world are you doing, guys? Your coach is a joke. Your GM has no idea what he's doing. Your franchise has become a mess ever since you beat the Pats in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. So as I take a sip of my Kona Big Wave in our 21st episode and wind up the show, New York Giants, you are my dick of the week. And with that said, thank you very much for joining us on this episode of Sporty with Cori and Richie Suave. Have a good one, everybody. We'll talk to you again next week in episode 22. Good night and good sports, everybody.